Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Hanging with Aisha. Today I will be doing a purple smoky eye makeup tutorial. Okay y'all, the first thing I do when I do my makeup is I put my hair up because it's always in the way. Next, I take off my glasses because I obviously can't do my makeup with my glasses on. I always start with my eyebrows and I use an ABH brush and of course the ABH dip brow in ebony. The next thing that I do is I take the spoolie end of my brush and I brush my brows upward because I found that the easiest way to do my brows. Next thing I do is I will grab a mirror and then I will get my brows into the position I want, and then I will start carving out the bottom of my brows and also drawing where I want the bottom of the tail of my brows to end. Next, I'll probably just plunder for a few seconds. But then I grab the mirror again and then I start to carve out the top of my brows and where I will connect the top of the tail to the bottom of the tail. And it looks ratchet in the beginning, but it takes time, sisters. Okay, y'all, once I have my eyebrows how I like them and filled in, I will take out my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer and then I will begin to carve out the bottom of my brows and the top of my brows. And after that's done, I just blend it out. But when carving out your brows, try to get a concealer that's 1 to 2 shades lighter than your concealer, so it can give that highlighting effect under your brows. Okay, y'all, eyebrows took forever, but the next thing I do is I go into my face and I use my Too Faced Hangover Primer. It is the best. It's so hydrating, and I got it in a sample in my Ipsy box, and I will be purchasing the full size. What I'm doing now, I'm just rubbing it in, making sure it really gets into my skin, and I rub for a very long time. y'all, the next thing I do is I take my banana powder by Makeup Revolution and I get some onto a Morphe brush and then I set my primer. This step, it really helps my makeup last because I get really oily. So when I set this, it's like, I only set it in like the areas where I'm the most oily, if that's a word. So mainly my T-zone, under my eyes, right at the ends of my nose. And then I mix the two foundations that I love right now, the Milani Perfect and Conceal and my L'Oreal True Match. I normally put the Milani all over my face, and then I take the L'Oreal True Match and I just put it mainly on my forehead. Yes, I'm using my finger. Don't you love a bougie sister? Anyway, so next I just keep putting it on there and then I start blending. And then, y'all, of course, I blend my foundation out with a beauty blender. It's the huge one, and I normally get it from Ulta. After I'm done blending, y'all, I take my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Medium and I begin to highlight my face. I put it under my eyes, down the middle of my nose, in the middle of my forehead, and my little smile lines, and on my chin. And then I take that same beauty blender and I spray it with the Boscia Witch Hazel and Rosewater spray. And then I start blending again. Next, I take that same banana powder by Makeup Revolution and I start baking my face. Baking really helps your concealer not to crease and it holds it in place all day. And also helps me from not getting oily. And I just put it under my eyes and everywhere else where I put the concealer. And then after I'm finished putting it on with the brush, I press it into my skin with my beauty blender and I move on to my eyeshadow and let that bake the entire time. Next, y'all, I take my favorite Morphe brush and I dip not into the Huda Beauty palette, but I use the Soft Glam palette by ABH and I take the color Burnt Orange and I put that all over my lid. I do that so that I can set the concealer that I put on my eyes, so when I start putting my eyeshadow on, I have a nice clean base. Now, y'all, I finally go into the Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette, and I take those two corner shades and I start working those into my crease, but I start on the very corner of my eye, and I slowly start to drag it into my crease because I don't want it to go all the way into my crease, because that's where I'm going to end up putting my glitter. So I just keep taking that shade and those two shades and blending them almost to the end of my crease, but not quite in there. I forgot to show y'all, but I take the darkest shade in the Huda Beauty Emerald Obsessions palette, and I take the darkest purple shade in that palette, and I start working that into my outer V, like not dragging it into the crease yet, but in the end I will. But I'm just taking that color and I'm adding some depth to my crease. Next, I take that really purple, shiny, reflective purple, and I put that all over my lid, trying not to get it on my lower lash line or in my inner corner. Huda Beauty has the best shimmers and glitters out right now. And I just keep packing that onto both eyes, and I don't have to worry about the fallout because I'm still baking. So whatever does fall out, I just take it in the end and I'll just brush it right off, and it doesn't leave any glitter on my face at all. Once I'm done with that, I take that dark purple shade again and I put it on my lower lash line and really smoke out that bottom lash line. Since I've been putting eyeshadow on my lower lash line, when I don't do it, I feel like it looks very weird. Then next, I take the shiny reflective pink shimmer and I put that in my inner corner. It's just so pretty. And then next, I take those two corner shades again and that dark purple shade, and I just blend out my crease one more time. Next, y'all, I take my favorite face brush by Morphe and I start wiping that bake off and a little bit of fallout that glitter shade had on my face. And then while I'm wiping it off, I'm also buffing it into my skin to make sure it's really in there. And I especially do this on my forehead because she gets very oily and we don't like a greasy sister. Once I get all of my bake off, I take the L'Oreal True Match foundation powder in the same color as my foundation and the flower face brush, and I put this all over my neck and on some parts of my face just for an extra finish. And then next, I take the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette in medium to dark, and I use that religiously every day to contour my face. And that's another Ipsy brush that I have because I'm obsessed. And then I just start bronzing up my face so I don't look like a complete ghost. And I just put it on my cheeks and I bring it all the way up my forehead. And that's it. After I'm done contouring, I'll take that beauty blender and that same banana powder and I cut my contour so that I look like I have Kim K cheekbones. Once my cheekbones are done, I will take that same Kat Von D Shade Light palette and then I'll take the darkest shade and the next to the darkest shade and I will begin to snatch my nose because she can be big sometimes and my back was hurting. But yeah, I just contour my nose and sometimes if it gets too harsh, I'll take like some MAC Studio Fix powder or that same L'Oreal True Match powder and I'll tone it down a little. Then sometimes I just blend her out with my finger and then, hey you. And then the next thing that I do is I take my Juvia's Place blush palette and the two left shades are my favorite and I mix those two together and I use that as my blush. I use it every day. I love rosy cheeks, so I put a lot, not a lot, but a lot. And then the extra that I have left over, I just go over my whole face with it. The next thing I do is pretty boring. It's mascara. I normally use the Princess Lash by Essence and the They're Real by Benefit because falsies tend to irritate my eyes and normally they're too long and they touch the lenses on my glasses. So here's me putting on mascara. The next thing I do is probably one of my favorite steps in my makeup routine, and it's spraying setting spray. Right now, I'm in between the Morphe setting spray and the Marc Jacobs setting spray. They're both amazing, and I would recommend both of them. Next, I'm just drying off my face a little. Did y'all catch that eye roll? Anyway, next, I always put my highlight on after I spray my face because it tends to stay more. But right now, I'm loving the Fenty Beauty highlighters, and I got this when it first came out and I really didn't like it, but then I don't know, she just popped up again. But I take this Morphe highlighting brush and I just put her all over my cheeks because I like shining. So I put it on both of my cheekbones, down the bridge of my nose, sometimes I put it on my chin, and maybe I put it under my eyebrow sometimes. And the next thing I do is my lips. This is my favorite lip combo right now. It's just a Milani like matte lipstick, and I take a lip brush and I dip onto the doe foot applicator and I kind of apply it like a lip liner. Sephora Velvet Matte Lipsticks I got in my Sephora Play box. It's a really pretty pinky mauvey nude, and I put that in the middle of my lips, and I put a little over the brown matte lipstick that I use as lip liner, and then I just start blending them all together because I want like a perfect nude lip. And the next thing I do is I find, it's an old Almay gloss. I don't even think they make it anymore, but I pop that in the center of my lips just so they don't look dry, because you know matte and velvet lipsticks can tend to be drying. So I put that in the middle of my lips to keep those hydrated. And next I take the Marc Jacobs coconut water setting spray and I put her all over my face. And hey sister, that's the end of this video. Next I put my glasses back on and I take my hair down. Ooh, my friends was gassing me up in the background, y'all. I have those kind of friends, so shout out to Paige and Macy. So y'all, there she is, the finished look. Hey girl. Anyway, y'all, if y'all like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And if y'all like an in-depth eyeshadow or eyebrow tutorial, comment below.